name of my gallery. I can create subfolders by doing a right click and creating a new folder. I can create multiple subfolders for subject areas, etc., but I'm not going to do that at this point. I can also set my properties, which gives me the title of the folder as well as keywords that I can, based on the SCORM standard, that I can go in and search for. But we'll do that in just a second. The bulk of what you're going to be doing is down here in the lower right-hand corner of the Publisher window. This is where I'm going to add content into this gallery that I'm creating right now. First thing is I'm going to come in and I'm going to find a notebook file, and I'm going to drag and drop the notebook file on there. This could be a lesson, this could be an example that I've created previously, and now it's going to be included with this gallery download. I'm going to go ahead and continue to scroll through, and I'm going to find, let's go into my documents, and let's grab some pictures. I'm going to go into my pictures, my sample pictures, and I want to use the sunset and the water lilies, and let's go ahead and do winter as well. You'll notice that as I'm dragging in resources, it's breaking it up into notebook files and pages, as well as pictures and backgrounds. So it's identifying the type of resource that I'm putting in there and creating a subheading underneath my Publisher webinar example folder, gallery folder, that will make it easier for me to be able to find this as an end user later. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more items in because I do have on my desktop, I have a couple of Flash items. So I'd like to go ahead and drag in my column sort activity, which is a SWF file, as well as my Amoeba video. Now what I would like to do is I'd like to go ahead and start looking at the properties of these. So if I click on sunset, I'm going to go ahead and do a right click and come down to properties. This is where I can set the width and the height of the resulting image when it gets drag and dropped onto the notebook page, and I can choose to maintain the aspect ratio or force it out of the standard 4:3. If I click on details, it shows me where the file is currently located on my computer, when it was last updated. I can change the thumbnail of it. I can say it's a picture or a background. The difference here is that a picture will allow me to resize the image. The background will allow me to not. Once I place that onto a notebook page, it becomes glued to the background and there's no editing that I can do to it at that point. I can choose to attach a sound file to it. As with any other thing in Notebook, MP3s are supported. So this way, if I have this as a picture and when I click on it, I would like to hear some music in the background that goes along with the picture, or a sound file, or someone reading information, I can do all of that. And I can also embed a link to a web page, to another file, or to another page within Notebook, all by creating and using the Gallery Publisher tool. Title allows me to set the title of what the object is in the gallery in multiple languages. And keywords, this is where I could come in and say that I want this to be sunset, I want it to be weather, I want it to be time, I want it to be pretty, I want it to be pink, I want it to be solar, and so on. So all of these keywords will now come along with that sunset picture. Finally, with advanced, I can change the sort key as well as a download group within the gallery. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Amoeba Proteus. Click on Properties. When I go to Keywords, now this is a file that I had already pulled out of Notebook. So you'll notice that there are a lot of keywords that have already been created in multiple languages. So any one of these words that you're seeing, when searched and within the proper language pack, will pull up this video of an amoeba. I'm going to go ahead and now look to publish this. So how do I do that? I select my volume, which is my Publisher webinar example gallery, and I can either click the box or I can go underneath Publish. And before I publish, I'm going to look at my settings. In my settings, this is where do I want my gallery to be saved. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on my desktop. And what logo do I want it to have Do I want to enable web update? This is where I could set a URL to be able to come and check my server. So if there are any new update capabilities, it will then make that available and it will start downloading that content for me. I can come in and say that all of the images within here, I'm going to change that to be 640 by 480 as opposed to 800 by 600. And now I'm going to click on Publish, either by going underneath the Publish menu, hitting F7, or just clicking my package here. Ask me where I want to put it. Save gallery folder to my desktop. Next. I can choose to drop a logo in if I want, 310 by 200. I can choose to put in an about box. So I will say that this is a test gallery only for the ecosystem publisher webinar, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Click Next. It's creating it, it's publishing, it's pushing it out. It should be finished in just a second. Obviously, the amount of content you have is how long it will take to compress into this single icon. It says finished. There we go. No errors, which is what we like to see. I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And now I'm going to quit the gallery publisher. On my desktop, I should now see my publisher webinar example gallery item, which is located right here. So by double clicking on this Get Publisher Webinar example, what it's going to do is it's going to open up the Gallery Updater tool for Smart. By clicking on, I see that it's 9.1 megabytes. And by clicking on that, I can now say, yes, I want to add that into Notebook. Okay. The gallery changes are complete. Finish. And now by looking into my gallery, you will see that it does not show up. And the reason why is because I have to close Notebook and relaunch Notebook to get it to actually show up. I've closed Notebook, I'm relaunching. And when I click on Gallery, I now have my Publisher Webinar example. By clicking on this, it shows I have 6 items, of which 3 of those are pictures. And then I have my 2 interactive Flash content and my Flash video file. And finally, I have my Notebook file that I included as well. All of the preset information that I put on there, if I click on Sunset, well, let's see if this shows up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a search for weather. In my pictures folder, Sunset now shows up. Another one that I set was pretty. So let me do a search for the word pretty. And there's one picture, and it's my sunset picture. So this is how I'm able to package my content, put in my SCORM search terms, and make it in a very simple double-click type of icon so my end users can do that and automatically push all of their information into Notebook as I've done in this example. So thank you for your time. I hope this has been informative. Make sure to utilize the tools that Smart is making available for you, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you.